Hey, how's it going? Andy here. Today we're going to unbox the Retron 5. Alright, so here is the Retron 5. Now before I get into the actual unboxing of it, I want to talk a little bit about what the Retron 5 is. So, the Retron 5 is a system made by Hyperkin, which I've unboxed a couple of Hyperkin products before, such as the Superboy SFC and the Retron 3. Both of those I've really enjoyed. I've also had the original Superboy, and I really enjoyed that as well, so I figured I would give this a shot. Now, the Superboy, or not the Superboy, the Retron 5 actually is an emulation-based console, so it's not like the Retron 3 where it has the hardware and like the chips from the actual consoles. This is basically a glorified emulator for like your computer, but instead you hook it up to your TV and it has controller ports. Now I know some people are not into that, and I get it. This console is not, it's not for everybody. So if you're not into emulation, this isn't going to be for you. So this is also pretty expensive. So the store I got it at had it originally for $150, but I had a $20 off coupon, so I ended up getting it for $130 plus tax, so it's really not that bad. There are some benefits though to having like an emulator type system. For one, you can use your original carts, like that's fine. You plug in your cart, what it does is it actually pulls the ROM off and reads it that way. So you're still using the physical carts, which is a plus, but you're getting the benefits of using the emulators. Like you get, for example, this upscales all the graphics, which is awesome. And also, you can do different filters, you can do a bunch of stuff like that. There's, I believe, built-in cheats, which is pretty cool. There's save states, which is awesome. So that's pretty cool. Like I like that about emulators. So I have no issue whatsoever with it. But I know there's some controversy around the Retron 5, which I totally get it. But for me, I like to keep my setups as minimal as possible, as small as possible, because I don't have room to hook up like every single system. So that's why I like systems like this and the Retron 3. I know people really enjoy just the original hardware. I do too, but something like this makes it a lot easier. Plus, it's going to make the graphics look a lot better. So, with that being said, let's take a look around the box. So, up here, you know, got the signature sloping design of Hyperkin, which is pretty cool. It's a nice matte black, and then it has some, it's like a dark gloss blue, like a navy blue. It looks black on camera, but this is the front. So it plays Game Boy Advance, also Game Boy and Game Boy Color, Super Nintendo and Super Famicom, NES, Famicom, and Genesis and Mega Drive, which is awesome. There's also an adapter, so you can play Master System games, as well as, I believe, Sega Game Gear, which is pretty cool. That's also like $60, so it's pretty expensive, but it's still pretty cool. It does come with the controller, which is iffy, but you can use the original controllers, which is awesome. This is the side. On the back, it just tells you a little bit more about it in different languages. Then there's this side. So let's go ahead, unbox it. I believe this side's actually already cut a little bit. Yeah. There we go. Alright, so go ahead and unbox this. The box does feel relatively heavy, which is pretty nice. Go ahead and put that off to the side. Here is the console itself. You got the wireless controller. You also have a power brick, and it does come with some adapters. So if you're overseas, you're covered. Here's the controller. It's actually a lot bigger than I thought it was gonna be. I felt like in the videos it was actually relatively small. We'll get into that in a second. It does come with an HDMI cable, which is very, very nice, as well as what type of cable is this? It looks like a micro USB, and also that's actually kind of weird. Let me go ahead and open this. Okay, so it's a micro to a mini USB. So if you have like a PS3, it has that type of end on it, which is pretty cool. So again, it does come with a HDMI cable. You got the adapters for different regions, as well as just the power plug, or the AC adapter rather. Now let's take a look at the controller real quick. Like I said, it does feel a little bit bigger than I thought it was going to. The buttons, they're clicky, but also mushy at the same time. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, especially this little D-pad. It's like I don't know, it's like an analog stick, but it's very, very clicky. Like, that was that. Then you got two buttons right here. I believe these are the same as the shoulder buttons. Not 100% sure. You can let me know down in the comments down below. But yeah, overall, it is a rechargeable wireless controller, which is pretty cool. So I probably won't use this too often, but yeah, you never know. Go ahead and move the actual system to the side. What else do you get? You got the user manual / instructions. Go ahead and open this up. It looks like you also get, you get some stickers. It's pretty rad. I dig that. So let's go ahead and take a look at the system itself. Now, I'm not going to show any gameplay. I do plan on doing a review of this, but I'm going to do it in like a month or so once I get used to the console and judge it fairly. So just go ahead and put that off to the side. So here's the system itself. I went with the gloss black with the, I'm just going to call it like the Nintendo gray because that's kind of what it looks like. It looks really nice. This is actually where the wireless controller sits, so it just sits right in there. On the back, you do have a SD card slot. That's for like firmware upgrades and stuff like that. HDMI, you got the USB, then you got the AC power. So this, I believe, is how you actually charge the controller. You just plug it in there, and you're good to go. On this side, you have some controller ports with some nice rubber caps to help keep the dust out, which is very, very nice. So looks pretty good over there. I'm afraid I'm actually probably gonna lose those, but up front you got the power switch, then you got the Gameboy slot, which is pretty cool. Then this side, more controller ports, which is awesome. Now up front, right here, you got the Famicom. Then you got NES. This is Super Nintendo and Super Famicom. Then you got the Genesis / Mega Drive right there. I will say, just touching the little dust covers, those are very, very tight, which is kind of weird. They're like kind of hard to press down. So I do know some people have had issues with games gripping really, really bad on this. So I got a couple of games, so let's go ahead and test that out. So I don't have any Famicom games, but I do have Super Famicom, Super Nintendo, Game Boy, Genesis, and NES. So I guess we'll start off with the Game Boy. Let's see how the grip is on that. You just go ahead and plug that in. It actually feels pretty good, and it comes out super easy. So that's very, very nice. We'll go with, I guess, NES, since that's technically next right there. So just go ahead and plug that in. It doesn't really feel like it sits in that well, but to take it out, it's really not bad. So this might be a newer model where they, I believe they came out with the second model that fixed the grip on the cartridge. So let's go ahead. Yeah, that comes out actually really, really nice. So that's awesome. Go ahead and try Super Nintendo. This is a Gradius 3 or Gradius, however you want to say it. And push that down. That goes in. It goes in like butter. But how does it come out? It comes out great. So that noise you're hearing is actually the dust covers. So they're like spraying. Like I said, they're very strong, which is kind of weird. Then go with a Mega Man X2 or Rockman X2 for Super Famicom. Goes in the same exact slot. Again, goes in great. Ooh, interesting. It actually grips it kind of hard. So I heard someone say you pull it from one side. That's kind of the trick. You do have to kind of pull up from one side, kind of work it out like that. So just keep that in mind. And then last but not least, we have Tournament Fighters for the Genesis. Go ahead and plug that in. It felt pretty good. It felt different than all the other ones so far. Ooh, that's actually kind of tight. Let's go ahead and so it is pretty tight, not gonna lie. So kind of had to work it out a little bit, but it's really not that bad. It's not as bad as I've heard. So maybe they fixed it. Maybe this newer model, I'm not 100% sure. Well, that's going to do it for this unboxing of the Retron 5. If you want to see a review of this system, please just let me know in the comments down below. You can also subscribe, that would be awesome, as well as give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, or if you did not enjoy it, the other button works just as well. But with that being said, you guys rock, stay rad, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.